above ground. Mighty, mighty please, and your Baptist car squeeze. Shoo, what lightning.
I don't remember having a deck prepared at all for the stand in my mind. I remember not knowing what I was going to play. I built the White Weenie deck that the night before the standard part, so after the draft. The way I remember it is I asked the judge to make sure that, the card would work how we thought it would work, where you would get to keep the creatures and be able to attack. The tokens were set to go away at the beginning of the end step. So when you got to the end step, you could still do things in the end step. It was like a phase, I guess, before you would discard or something such as that. So you would begin your end step, and then after it begins, you cast Waylay on your opponent's turn. Now the tokens aren't going to go away until the beginning of the end step, the next end step is going to be my turn. So I'm going to untap. The tokens are still on the board. They're going to not be summoning sick. And then I can play an Anthem, or if I already had an Anthem, play another one or something and attack for a lot of damage. So, again, I didn't know how great this was going to be, and I think it's a stupid rule. That's a good reason to get rid of it. But I don't know that it was like super overpowered, for Waylay to actually do this. I mean, probably somebody said it that weekend. White Lightning. Wasn't me, I don't think. But, fast white. It made sense. It was like a white ball lightning. Is I think kind of where that came from. But I would, again, with the anthems, I'd try to make it a little bit more than just a ball lightning. And as far as making the deck, I mean, this really would go back to the Matt Lindy thing, especially what Mike would talk about. I don't know if it all got put in. I watched the whole extended thing. But we did have, like a skeleton on how we kind of built these decks. It would change a little bit. But I knew that I wanted to play probably 6, I think is what I played, Anthem effects, just because I wanted these things to do 9, not 6 damage. I'm pretty sure I played 11 1-drops. I remember that number in my mind. Whatever number I played, when we sat down on a hotel bed with all the white cards. Me and it was Adam Dale. He wasn't even qualified to play. And he's going to help me build the deck. And I'm just like, okay, I need 11, I think it was 1-drop. So we looked through, we found what we thought the best ones were. And we're like, okay, at least 10 or whatever 2-drops. And then I wanted extra anthems in this deck. And it was basically just built that kind of way. The sideboard, similar sort of stuff. It had 1 erase in it, and it had 1 allay. I didn't know which was better. I had 1 of each. I didn't want to go look for. I just said I'll play 1 of each, and maybe some other kind of disenchant effect or something. So then once the tournament got started, I started figuring out a little more things about the deck. Where one of the main decks was, like I said, it was this combo deck, the bargain deck. And it would play a card that was an enchantment that came in and it gained you 10 life. And when it left, you lost 10 life. Well, this didn't cross my mind, but that goes on the stack. So you play the enchantment, your 10 life gain goes on the stack. If I can disenchant it right there, and you're at 10 or less, you lose. So now the Waylay got better. Again, in that matchup specifically. Because all I had to do was get them to 10. And then basically, if I had a disenchant effect and got them to 10, they're not going to ever beat me. So the Waylay was actually quite good at letting me be fast enough to beat that style deck. I don't remember if I ever actually sideboarded these things out. Maybe against like a green deck or something, I probably should have. I know I played against a mono black deck, Carnophages, Sarcomancies. I flashed it in and blocked one time, cleared his whole board. It won me the game. Honestly, I got lucky. I ran well. Everything went my way. And, the Waylay played some part in it. Some matchups more than others. But yeah, I just basically played that deck You know, if I'd went, I don't know what I might have still played it if I went 5-1 or 6-0. But it felt like at 4-2, hey, you know, we're known for White Weenie. This seems pretty cool. I got nothing to lose really, so let's try to put something together. And you know, I think it was a pretty good list for, you know. I don't know if the other people that played it, I don't know if they came prepared, like knowing and put some work into it and had their numbers, or if they just kind of put something together too. Like I never really asked about that. So the top 8, I do remember some things. I'm pretty sure my first round was against Dave Humphreys. It was either the first or second round. I think it was the first. And he's playing one of these bargain decks. And he, you know, it's pretty standard, I guess. They're drawing a bunch of cards. They're playing a Land's Edge type enchantment where they can discard lands to deal 2 damage. And they're gaining a bunch of life, drawing basically their whole deck, and then they're going to kill you. Well, the deck has somewhat of a finite amount of damage it can deal. In the 30s, I think, or something. I've got Soul Wardens and stuff like that. Sometimes they need to kill one of my creatures or 2. It just... And if he gets down to 10, he has to worry about me having a disenchant. So I think it's a pretty good matchup for me. Dave Humphreys is a genius. I love the set he designs for Magic. Now, I love his limited sets. So I'm looking at his deck. I'm looking at his sideboard. And I remember there were all these weird cards in his sideboard. He had multiple copies of this green card, which I don't even know how he cast that often, it seemed like. Nature's Revolt, I think it's called. It's like a 5-mana enchantment. It's double green. And it turns lands into 2/2 creatures for like both players or something. And like, there was some other weird stuff in there. And I just remember thinking, well, I don't know what he plans to do with that, but I can't imagine that's for me. Well, it was. I don't know if it was put in there for me or if he just decided that, hey, I got to come up with some crazy plan to let me have a chance in this matchup. But we played a game. I don't know if it was the second game or the third game. I guess it was probably the third game because I guess you probably didn't sideboard until... Well, I don't know if these were best of 3 or best of 5 in the top 8. One of the games, anyway, he plays this stuff. He gets this enchantment down. He kills all my lands so that I can't disenchant him. And then he actually like beats me with his lands. So that made the matchup play a lot more fair, where I'm like, okay, well, I can't just get him to 10 and like have basically nothing going on anymore. I kind of stuff to have some stuff going on. And I played more carefully in the next games than I did beat him. But I remember, I've always wondered if that was like actually a plan for the white deck, or if there was some other matchup that it made sense for. And then he just decided to play it against white aggro. I don't know. But whatever it was a crazy plan that changed his deck a lot. It was pretty cool. So then I play against Charles Kornblith, and he's also playing combo. Similar, but I don't feel like exactly the same. The same kind of kill, the same throw lands at you. Certainly didn't have all the weird stuff. Probably a little bit more streamlined, you know, all in or something. I'm not sure. So I play him, and in one of the games, this is a finite damage thing. So I've boarded in like worships so that they have to kill all my creatures before they can kill me. So I've got a worship out, and I've got an anthem, and I've got like a 1-drop, and a warrior encore, which is a 2/2 creature, and he can redirect his damage to another creature. Well, I'm just, you know, I don't know if I'm just not very bright, or I'm not very fast thinking at this or whatever. But Charles goes and he throws a land at my Warrior Encore. And I just go into the tank. I'm trying to think. I'm not trying to throw him off his game. I'm just really trying to think, is it better for me to redirect the damage now or to wait till he does the second one? And I just thought forever, I don't even think it matters. But I just kind of just kept thinking about, and I thought for so long that finally I was like, okay, I'm going to redirect this damage. Maybe I was redirecting it to another 3-3. I don't know exactly what I did, but somehow he used an extra land in this exchange. I don't know if he threw one over here and then two over there. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he killed what I was redirecting it to and then threw two more. I don't really remember, but I remember he used an extra land, and then he started going off, and he couldn't kill me. He was 2 damage or 1 damage short. I was either at 1 or 2 at the end of that game. So that one game was won just on that, that little misplay. And I'm pretty sure it's just because I took so long, he forgot what was going on. The finals, a blur. I was happy to be there, which I always try to, that's a spot you want to try your best, not be happy to be there. But I feel like I've just, been getting away with murder. And I'm playing against an awful matchup, Enchantress combo, which is way different. I don't have ways to kill their stuff. They're faster than me. They can gain, it's not at all the same kind of combo. And I just get smashed the first 2 games. I know I was down 0-2. I sideboard, but what am I putting in some disenchants like to kill an enchantment? It's not like the enchantments would come down and just take over the game. They were like value kind of. They added mana and they were just drawing you cards and stuff. So me having a few disenchants wasn't exactly that big of a sideboard. Somehow I won 3-0 to win the whole thing. I don't remember any of the games. The first 1 and 2 probably that I won, I just no memory of them at all. Then once we got to game 5, I was like, I might actually have a chance here, but even that I don't really like. The Pro Tour I won, I can remember a lot of the games and stuff and the feeling of like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna win. Honestly, I don't remember any of it. It was like a blur. I don't know. But I don't feel like the Waylays played much of a part in the finals, if I could remember correctly. I don't feel like they were a big part of that matchup.
Thanks for watching The Tranquil Domain. If you made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe. See you next week.